Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Flying with the Foam on HJN. And now, I suppose it's time that I talk a little bit about splitting something into two, because this is in fact the next blaster I have in line right here. 6 out of 87. This is what you probably would call the split strike, judging by what you'd see on the side. But even though it does bear the same sort of styling as it, and also the same function as it, with its main function being the ability to split these into tool blasters. That's what split strikes were mainly known for. Having a new sort of innovative thing to where they can actually split into two blasters instead of just one. But if there's one thing that I should let you know about right away, then well, this blaster certainly is unlike any other. This is part of the Battle Camo series, and the Battle Camo series is still around every now and then, but even though this may act like a split strike in many ways, this is actually the Takedown. Yep, that's the replacement name for this, because we already have a split strike. End of story. Can't be giving old names out to new blasters. And this is a new blaster, by the way. A carbon copy of the split strike, bearing the same sort of function to split this, like that. But this blaster certainly ain't the split strike in any ways, as it is more recent than the split strike, and as a result, well, it's part of a new lineup, actually. That's another reason to give it a different name here. Also because sometimes the internals and color schemes tend to be different from every blaster. That's right, the split strike did have nice direct plunger sort of system. A very nice direct plunger system put into it, but this one takes it a bit of a step further up the hill. A very nice direct plunger system, modernized. So, of course it still functions similar to that of your average Night Finder or, well, other blaster like that in the EX family of blasters, but it certainly does act kind of like the rough cut with its usage of, well, being able to pull one priming rod or both, and then because, well, it could split into two blasters. I don't know if you could probably see it, but there's, well, each trigger of them, even when they're combined to form the blaster that is now just the Takedown as a whole, it's still nice that you can still split it even while it's primed because of having just, well, two separate plunger tubes to allow for something like that to happen. Of course, putting it back together, yeah, you see what I'm talking about? Putting them back together is something that's a bit difficult unless you get some practice into it. I'd probably recommend at least 25 minutes of splitting it and then reassembling it. Yeah, like that. See? I did pretty good right there. But anyways, the Takedown, yeah. Even though that name also applies to a rival blaster that we got, well, nearly a year ago. That's the Achilles, which I will talk about in greater detail as time goes on, but here, with the Battle Camo Split Strike, or Takedown, as this one is going to be called from this point on, this is still kind of an average blaster, a bit mediocre in terms of its performance, and, well, it's quite stylish, mind you that. Battle Camo certainly does have a way of giving us a nice aesthetic to it, and also modernizing it at the same time, but other than that, I'd still give it a pretty good rating of about 6.6. It's still good nonetheless. Not great, not fantastic, like the majority of other blasters that I've also talked about here so far, whether it be Aftersaught or here in Flying with the Foam, which we still have quite a ways to go before, well, all of this comes down to the very end. So if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.